Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a beautiful Sunday service on a beautiful Sunday, wherever you may be, and all of those you watching online. We're going to start right now with our opening chant, Blessing to the World. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are and all you do is a blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and who I am and all I do is a blessing to the world. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and who we are and all we do is a blessing to the world.
Well, good morning and welcome. We are so glad that you are here. I am Reverend Sydney. I'm the assistant minister here. And if you are in the sanctuary, we are so blessed to have you here. I want to remind you to silence your cell phones. And for those of you who are streaming, you don't have to silence anything. We just are grateful that you're here. And by the way, we are now streaming on Facebook Live, on Zoom, and YouTube Live. Ta-da! All right. Yay. Thank you. So let's join together in prayer, shall we? Together, we join together in this beloved, wonderful, powerful recognition that there is one power, one presence, one mind, one love, one heart that surrounds and fills us. That is the creator and created of all life. And that truly, truly, we are that expression of the divine. I know that for myself. I know that for everyone who is on this planet, and particularly I know for anyone in this community who hears these words, that we know we are connected with and as God, and we are connected with each other. How wonderful to know. How wonderful to know that we renew our minds and we are transformed, and that we gather here today to be renewed, to be transformed, and to be uplifted into an awareness of greater good, of greater love, of greater peace, of abundant living. So I bless this experience. I bless this service. And I know that that which needs to be said by Dr. Mark is said easily and powerfully. And that which we need to hear, we do. We have ears to hear. Our hearts are open. Our minds are open. We hear from the level of the divine. And I bless the music, knowing that Sam and Karen and Susan are all open and wonderful conduits for the joy that helps to enliven us and place us in that place of great willingness, receptivity, and joy. How wonderful to know that all of this together has been divinely choreographed by infinite intelligence. So we say yes to this, and in gratitude, we accept that it is already so. And in that, I release this word into that beautiful law of mind, knowing it is so, and so it is. And together we say, amen. Glorious to feel the Holy Spirit deep within, ever present and more constant than the sun. Glorious to feel God's presence filling me with love, and glorious to know that rise and join me in saying the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen.
Please remain standing for our congregational song, What a Wonderful World. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright, blessed day, the dark, sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Please be seated. So we are going to join together now in spiritual practice. We know that that is essential for our growth, and we connect with that deep peace, that presence within. So I invite you to simply settle yourself. Close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. Be where your body is. And for 5 minutes, we will be in silence, in the sacred silence. And if your mind wanders, then just bring it back, perhaps with the mantra, God's the love that I am. Follow your breath. Follow your breath. God's the love that I am. And I will bring us out in 5 minutes. Namaste.
is love, God is peace, God's in everything I see. God's divine, God is mine, God's the very air I breathe. I give thanks for this truth. I embrace this love for me. For God is everywhere, and God resides in me. I know that it's true. I feel it deep inside. The love that I am cannot be denied. God's the joy, God's the peace, God's the good inside of me. God's the love that I am, the love that lives in me. שכינה היא אהבה בכל כיוון שאני רואה. קדושה שכינה היא הרוח בנשמה. מודה באמונה האהבה הזאת שלי. שלום בכל מקום, אין סוף הוא בתוכי. אני יודעת שזה נכון, אמת עמוק בפנים. האהבה היא גם אני, אותה מחבלת פנים. God's the joy, God's the peace, God's the good inside of me. Elohai, El Shaddai, Ahava shegara belibi. God's the love that lives in me. Lashana Tova. Happy New Year.
Thank you so much. All right, well, good morning. Today is our fourth Sunday of our Journey of the Heart, and we're going to hear from members of our congregation. And we happen to be hearing from one of our newest practitioners, Luana, and her husband, Thomas. So let's welcome them and hear what they have to say. And this is going to have to be higher for Thomas. Who's talking first? It's higher for you. Okay, good. Thanks.
Wow, that feels different. Well, listening to Gail and Roger's talk last Sunday, I see some similarities. Our spouses are trailblazers in religion and spirituality, and the husbands, when they're smart, they follow along. I did not grow up in a religious household, so even so I attended Protestant religious classes in high school. This is not really something that I was exposed to. The closest encounter I had with organized religion was due to the fact that I grew up next to a Catholic church and I heard the church bells and the church organ every Sunday. But God works in mysterious ways. At a used bookstore at exactly that church, I found a book written by a Tibetan Lama about Buddhism that piqued my interest. That led me to start meditating and later, in my teenage years, to do Tai Chi. So when I met Luana, I was ready for our own spiritual quest.
Thomas and I have embraced New Thought teachings for over 20 years. Our family joined this spiritual community around 2016. Our daughters learned that their thoughts are creative and that loving acts of kindness and compassion are their superpowers. Here, we've received spiritual guidance during college application times and much needed comfort and grief support after Thomas's father transitioned during COVID. As a newly licensed religious science practitioner, I've had the honor and the privilege to learn from the very best, and my spiritual toolbox is now infinitely richer because our beloved ministers and practitioners have invested so much of their time and committed to our spiritual growth and wholeness as a community. And this is why Thomas and I support our church through tithing.
As my parents were not part of a church community, tithing was not a concept that I was familiar with growing up. So it didn't come natural at first. I was brought up by the beliefs from my parents that money is hard earned and nothing in life comes for free. But having the good fortune of listening to Dr. Mark's talk several years and learning vicariously through Luana while she was pursuing her path to practitionership, my outlook gradually changed. Now it comes easy to me to support our community that provides our whole family with so much spiritual nourishment and that has become an integral part of our lives. And tithing works. We lived for 16 years in our home, and we did a lot of work when we moved in, but then we stopped. And part of it was due to the fact that I believed we didn't have the money. And a few years back, during COVID, due to a leaky faucet, all of a sudden that belief, and of course tithing, that belief changed. And we ended up doing one renovation after the other. And it was really divinely guided. We had the right workers, the right helpers, money was there, and it became just spiritually guided, the entire process. Do you want to add anything to it?
I mean, whatever he said.
Okay, well.
I wish we would have done it sooner, but you know, my consciousness expanded so much because of all the support that I've received here and through our classes and this community. And this was the right time, so.
Apart from giving to church directly to raise funds, we have hosted Oktoberfest celebrations at our house as part of Gourmets for God. There you have the dubious pleasure of seeing me in lederhosen. But I believe that the beer, the German food, and the women in my family in the traditional dirndl outfits makes up for it. As a matter of fact, after 2 years of hiatus, the Oktoberfest, original Oktoberfest in Munich is going on right now. So Dr. Mark, I hope that next year we can share our Oktoberfest with everybody here in the community again.
Absolutely, yes.
So we really do not tithe to get, but to give, so that together as a community we can all thrive. We contribute to our community so we all have access to this beautiful and really cool sanctuary where we get to enjoy listening to some of the best professional musicians out there. Thank you. So that we can be heard and seen. Thank you, Timothy, today. That we can come together to celebrate all stages of life. We tithe so that we can support our youth church. Members go on summer camp retreats and learn to be spiritual way-showers. We tithe with love and gratitude because we know that our church also regularly and consistently tithes towards several nonprofit organizations. And ultimately, our tithing supports and significantly impacts global missions. Our tithing is far-reaching, and that is just amazing. I believe that God is our abundant source and our supply of good. It is often said that when we tithe to God. But I invite you now to step into your own spiritual authority, to cultivate an even greater faith and tithe as source. Tithe as God. Let that be your superpower. Thank you.
Well, I think I'll just sit back down here. I have notes. Oh, I have notes, yes. Wow, that was great. Thank you. Thank you so much. Tomas and Luana. So Rousseau, many years ago, said that man is born free, but everywhere he is in chains. So humankind, I think, has always felt within themselves, to some degree, the desire to throw off whatever seems to limit them, whatever form of external bondage may be in their life, and to move onward into a more expansive experience of living. And I really believe that this is our soul within us calling us into a greater experience, a greater expression of God. We have the ability to exercise freedom up to a certain point, up to a certain limit, because we must remember that we are also surrounded by a world of spiritual law. And so our destiny, though, lays in our own minds. I absolutely believe that this is true. So think of yourself. I know we've heard lots of images over the years, but I have a new one for you today. And this is not my own. This comes from Frederick Bales, who was an early New Thought minister. And he used to use this example, which was just crazy to me, and so I thought, it's too good not to share. Think of yourself as a loaf of bread. Italians, this will come particularly easy to you, okay? Because Italians cannot live without bread. So if you think of yourself as a loaf of bread. Now we'll take that loaf of bread that you are, and we're going to go one step further. That loaf of bread that you are is in the ocean. And over time, the ocean comes into the bread that you are, right? You are bread, bread's in the ocean is in the bread, right? So I'm using this, I hope, as a metaphor for that you are in supply, the infinite abundance of God. You exist right now in the abundance of God, and the abundance of God is in you. There is no separation, there's no duality. We do not teach that. That in the ocean of supply, you can call that supply love, or you could call it health, or you could call it creativity or joy, or in fact, you could even call it wealth. Right? In the middle of the ocean, here we are. We're surrounded by it. It presses in upon us constantly. The trouble is we don't see ourselves closely surrounded by the infinite. I believe that what we have done is that we've touched error conditions somehow, because and then we've brought that error condition in close to us. So filling my thoughts with the infinite ocean of supply, I'm not turning away from the error conditions in the world as much as I'm turning toward a principle of perfection and beauty and enoughness. See, so here I am, a loaf in the ocean of the infinite healing presence. Right? And our mental picture doesn't actually create health or wealth or joy, but this is what we have to understand. What we picture mentally sets the law in motion, which is the only agency that knows how to turn thoughts into things. And that's us. That is the science of mind. So on our spiritual path, it occurs to me as we make progress in consciousness, I cannot afford to judge what other people do. I just can't, because that judgment is only going to hurt me. It's going to keep my good away from me. It does not lift up the situation. By judging the situation, we don't add more light. We don't add more love. It doesn't lift the situation up or redeem it in any way. It does not in any way contribute to healing. So when people around me hold me in a high regard, when people are holding me up in consciousness, I rise up. That's why we go to practitioners, so that they hold us in high regard spiritually, and we rise up to meet that. See, the reason we would give is for ourselves. It always blesses us, especially if we give it freely. We have to do it for ourselves. You know, I had a teacher who used to say to me when I first came to the church, he would say, well, tell me, Mark, do you love your people enough to tell them the truth about tithing? And I would kind of go, it was just so confrontive. It was too much. It was like, I've just barely grasped and made peace with it myself. And a little later, he'd say, so, Mark, do you love your people enough to tell them the truth about tithing? Yeah, I'll talk about tithing, yeah. Well, Mark, do you love your people enough to tell them the truth about tithing? So here's the truth. Tithing is something you do for yourself. Every time you do it, you are proving that God is the source of all the good that comes into your life, and it blesses you. Your life gets bigger when you contribute. Why wouldn't I want to share that with people? He was asking me. It's like, he said, do you believe it? I said, yes, I believe it. He said, do you do it? Yes, I do it. I said, then why wouldn't you tell people? If it blesses you and you do it, why wouldn't you share that? See, the idea of prosperity, to me, is really very much about self-worth. Prosperity is an attitude toward life. It's an attitude toward money. Some people have money, but they have no prosperity. And some people have prosperity, but they may not happen to have a lot of money. See, so when I talk about, let me say this, prosperity consciousness, what I'm thinking of is the sum total of your beliefs. That's the surface beliefs that we have that we're all aware of, and then there are those deep-seated beliefs. And so I believe that we are always experiencing the result of the combination of all our beliefs. You know, if you tell yourself something is going to be easy to heal, if you tell yourself this is going to be easy to change, this is going to be an easy area for me to grow, it will be. Isn't that amazing how that works? It absolutely will be. If you are not prosperous, it does not mean that you in any way are a bad person, just that you have not learned how the law operates in this particular area. Now, I believe that what we have to say to ourselves, and I hope you will leave with this today, that I am a person of value, that I value myself. Because only as much as you value yourself and know that you have value can the universe mirror that back to you. I think to get in the game, I've got to participate, and giving gets it started. As I have said every week, it is not better to give than to receive. They are two aspects of the same thing. You just begin with giving. You know, like I said, in breath, out breath, we need both. Now, if you resent where anyone, anywhere, I'm going to tell you, you just got to forgive it. And you have to do it for your own survival. It's sinking your loaf of bread. Okay? That really, resentment holds us back. So we cannot resent other people who are doing well or other people who are happier than we are. You know, science of mind is a path to reveal the wholeness that we believe exists within us already, right now. And so what I do in one area of my life absolutely affects all the other areas, because the principles that work in the area of expanding my consciousness around money are the same principles that work in the area of expanding my consciousness around creativity or around health or around relationships. So tithing is a way, actually, I think, to live in closer communion with God, because every time you give anything, you are proving that God is your source. I did a memorial service yesterday, a funeral actually. There was a body, it was a funeral. And it was for a woman who was a minister at O.C. Smith's church over in Playa Vista. She was with O.C. for many years. And they told a story, and it was really about her giving consciousness. And they said she couldn't help herself. That one day she was walking by the Big Five sporting goods store, and she had just got past the store, and it was late in the afternoon, and it was getting cool, and there was a homeless man there. And so she stopped to talk to the homeless man. And the next thing you know, she says, well, you know, I'm concerned about you. It's going to be cold tonight. She went into the Big Five, and she bought him a sleeping bag, and she came out and said, here, this will keep you warm tonight. And the man was just so grateful. And so I thought, oh, what a lovely story. But then they went on and said, and another day, she was walking out of a restaurant, and there was a homeless man there, and she started to talk to him. And she realized, she said, you know, I bet you haven't eaten. And he said, well, no, ma'am, I have not. And she says, let me go in and get you something. So she went in, and she got him a big container of soup, and I guess there was bread and butter and blah, blah, blah. And stuff. And she came out, and she gave it to him. But what had happened while she was in getting him the soup was another homeless person had come up. And so she said, oh, excuse me, I don't have one for you, but I will get one. I'll be right back. And so she handed the first person his bag, and she went back in and got another one. When she came out, there was another homeless person there. So now there are 3. And she said, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have something for you. Excuse me, I'll be right back. And so she gave the second person his bag, and she went back in, and she got another order, and she brought it to the third person. And I thought, this could just keep going on and on. We could just do this for the whole rest of the service. Right? But that was her consciousness, that she said, she knew she always had something of value to give. Right? So what I want you to know, really, is that the giving is for you, because you cannot give to another person and not receive the grace from that. And so just like when we get on an airplane and before it takes off, they always tell you, you know, should there be an event, you know, evacuation slide, life vests under the seats, put the mask over who first? Over yourself. They always say, you got to put the mask over yourself first, and they stretch the rubber band and stuff before you help others. See, if you help you first, then you can give to other people. See, you know how the universe works, and knowing how the universe works will help you to help others or to be a bigger presence in the world. You know, it's that idea that I can only breathe for me. As much as I want to, I cannot breathe for you. I have sat with people who were sick, and I wanted to be able to breathe for them so badly, but I could not do it. They had to do it on their own. You know, I can't go for a walk for you. I can only go for a walk for me. So the idea of tithing is, you know, is about 1/10. And this comes out of the Bible. 10% of your gross income off the top. Oh my God, that's horrifying. I know, that's just scary. And giving to where you get spiritual food, right? Or the way Emmett Fox talks about it in his little book, The Magic of Tithing, he says, give to what puts more truth into the world. So where do you see, where are you fed by a place that's putting truth, spiritual truth, into the world? Now, I'm going to tell you, I think it's great to give to charities, and I'm in favor of it, and I do it. But those charities do not feed me spiritually. Okay, so that's the distinction that we make in metaphysics. That yes, you give to charities because they're doing good work in the world, and that is part of you having an abundant consciousness. You know, but you know, saving animals from euthanasia and I love dogs more than life itself. I'm just dog nuts. I've just been an idiot about dogs my whole life. I'm crazy about them. But if I give to an animal organization, that animal organization isn't feeding me spiritually. I'd say, yeah, but my dog's feeding me spiritually to some extent. The dog is not teaching me principles of truth. The dog is a wonderful example of unconditional love. There, that's it. Right? So I give my money to what feeds me spiritually. It says in the Bible, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So tithing for me is very much about keeping the energy flowing and going. All right? The truth is we cannot outgive God. And I know from experience that my life has gotten bigger every year because every year I tithe more money. You know, the universe can't bless us, though, until we give. And so money, I think, for a lot of our people represents love. It represents power. It's hard to practice spiritual laws around money. To teach the principle of infinite supply is probably the hardest thing for people to get. Why? Because we think we are our money. Right? Like I said, it comes at the end of the Old Testament in Malachi. And this is the hardest practice of the Old Testament to master before we move on, before we move up in consciousness. And it is the practice of tithing. Right? So the Bible says the love of money is the root of evil, of all evil. Right? So money, though, is energy that gathers itself around a good idea. Do you have a good idea? Really, do you have a good idea? Now, security, I know people say, well, I only want money because I want security, but I'm going to tell you that I think security comes from within us. Now, out of me also, money is produced. Now, if you give less, you know, that always, I believe, when I have done that in my life, I notice that in myself that comes from a fearful place in me. And it actually limits me more. So I think that consistency gives the impression into the universal law of my commitment to this idea of my own self-worth. You only got to give on your money, right? When you tithe money, what happens is I have found that it sort of comes in from all these other unexpected directions. I mean, and I said, wow, that's great. I love that. This is for me. I'm going to do that. But when you give, like I said, you have to release it totally. You have to let it go. When I plant seeds, as I have done, I have been a gardener for many years, and I love the whole process. But you know, when I plant seeds, I don't tell the soil what to do with it. Okay, soil, now you need to go in there and extract. I wouldn't even know. Part of my experience of lack in life may be my need to control everything, right? So this is why I say tithe first. Trust the law and do it. Right? There's no such thing as a fixed income. Who fixed it? Right? There are universal laws of circulation. And those laws do not stop working when you reach whatever age. You are always, always, always current with God. So tithing for me, I believe, is the recognition of my source and the total act of commitment to depending on that source. See, I believe for myself, after all these years, I have a relationship with the source of all good. And I want all of us to have that. And where is that source of all good? That source of all good is within us. So this is what we need to know, that we are connected with the source of all good. That source is right where we are. Tithing actually kind of loosens me up. You know, it puts me at ease. Now, I think that money is not necessarily prosperity, but prosperity because I believe that prosperity is something that we carry within ourselves, and money is a reflection of that. And so to begin to tithe is an act of trust. Only someone in lack and limitation and fear will tell you not to tithe. But I will tell you this, once you know how the principle works and you've seen it operate in your life, I believe you will want to do this because it is a principle. It is not capricious God. Oh, God's happy now. I'm giving money. Now God will bless me. That's not how it is. It's a principle. Let's see, have I said anything to upset you yet? Okay, now let me say something. The more needy you are, the more important it is that you find ways to give. See, because need is an energy where you're saying, I lack, I lack, I lack, and you're trying to pull something in. But the opposite is the way to go. If you are giving and giving and giving, give something of value to get the flow going, whatever that is. It's easy to give what has no value, right? But giving what has real value. Now, I think you can also give of yourself, say something nice, give time, especially if you want more time. You know, take time to pray for others, be of service. But the idea is that we enter into life fully and give of ourselves. It shows that we mean business. Shows who? Shows what? We're just saying it shows the universe and spiritual law responds to us. So don't wait for God to give to you first. Make it my law, like your personal law, as it is my personal law, that I am a giver. Find where you can give. And if you say, gee, I don't know what I have to give, what do I have to give? Then I would say start affirming, I now know what I have to give, and I give it joyfully. Yeah. See, your subjective mind knows nothing of time and space, right? So that's why we say here in the here and now. So give because you want to do it, right? I think love gives of itself all the time, and it actually asks for nothing in return. And so maybe tithing is actually a great act of your faith in the power of love. So give for the joy of it and receive it back. Like I said last week, nature wants to give to us. You know, it becomes ours to do, to create, maintain, and channel a belief system in the direction we want it to go, right? So think about this. What's the belief system I need to have today to be as prosperous, as abundant, to live the life I want, to be as healthy, to have as much energy as I want, to be as creatively fulfilled and expressed as I want to be? What's the consciousness I need to have? What's the belief system I need to have And let me start working on that right now. Now, another thing, from a completely different direction, I want to say is think in terms of how rich you are right now. Because the truth is, compared to a huge portion of the world, we are beyond the beyond with regards to prosperity and abundance. See, because if we can start to focus on what's so good in our life right now, and I know everybody has stuff we're working on, we all do, but that's not what we're talking about today. We're going to talk about this today. That think in terms of how rich you already are. Rich in health, rich in friends, rich in love, rich in shoes, whatever it may be, you know? Because awareness changes everything. Awareness is curative. Awareness brings us every good thing. So let's pray together now. So we turn our attention inward for a moment, just recognizing that we are, yes, indeed, surrounded and filled with God's infinite, loving, intelligent spirit. That God within us is the most true, real thing about us. Here we are, emanations of the Most High God. And as it says in the Scriptures, I am come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. And so I accept that that I am presence is within each and every one of us, and it's here to reveal the abundant nature of spirit that we are. I know for certain that we are not separate from our good in any way, and that our conscious, committed giving blesses us as it blesses our church, and it blesses the world. So we see in our mind's eye right now our life the way we would like it to be, in all of its glory. See yourself happy, healthy, fulfilled, loving, prosperous. And allow that to become completely real for you. Really catch that feeling. Catch that image in your mind's eye. And now as you see that and know that for yourself, see it for all of those that you love and hold near and dear. See them in your mind's eye. Surround them with an energy of love. See them as healthy, happy, prosperous, creatively expressed. There's nothing in the universe that's holding us back. And so we let our prayer be a blessing in the world that we live in today, knowing that there is so much going on, that there is crazy weather and there's crazy behavior and there's the appearance of wars and all kinds of unsettled activity. And we know that God is greater than all of that. God is bigger and greater than all of that, and God is in every single person on the face of the earth. And so we call that principle, power, and presence forward in all of its goodness and its love and its peace. And so we bless our church. We bless all churches everywhere. We bless synagogues and temples and mosques and ashrams, centers, all paths to God. And I'm certain we are blessed by being together today. That the path ahead for all of us, for our church, for our family, for us individually, the path ahead is light, not dark. And so I know we are blessed to be together today. We are blessed to practice principles of truth that heal us and set us free. And so with a full heart, I say, thank you, God, that this is so. I release this word into law, and so it is. Together we all say, amen. All right, we'll sing one time together.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
All right, I invite you to hold your gift over your heart, and we'll say our statement of giving together. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and belief. It does good work in the world and returns to me multiplied abundantly. Thank you very much.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am
I'm singing to the world. It's time we let the Spirit come in. Let it come on in. I'm singing to the world. Everybody's caught in the spin. Look at where we've been. We've been running around year after year, blinded with pride, blinded with fear. But it's daybreak if you wanna believe. I said it's daybreak, ain't no time to grieve. Said it's daybreak if you'll only believe, and let it shine, shine, shine all around the world.
Singing, singing, singing to the world. Singing, singing.
Singing to the world. What's the point in putting it down? There's so much love to share. I'm singing to the world. Don't you see it all comes around? The feelings everywhere. We've been closing our eyes day after day. Clouds in our eyes, losing our way. Hey, but it's daybreak if you wanna believe. I said it's daybreak, ain't no time to grieve. Yes, it's daybreak if you'll only believe, and let it shine, shine, shine all around the world.
Singing, singing to the world. Singing, singing.
Yes, it's daybreak if you wanna believe. It's just daybreak, ain't no time to grieve. I said it's daybreak if you'll only believe, and let it shine, shine, shine all around the world. Let it shine, shine, shine all around the
Singing to the world. Singing,
world.
singing, singing to the world. Singing, singing, singing to the world. Singing, singing.
Let your light shine.
Thank you, Susan Edwards Martin. You know, we can get her music at a variety of places: Spotify, YouTube, and your own website, unlimitedsusanedwardsmartin.com. Right. And thank you, Sam. Thank you, Karen. If this is the first time you have been with us, we are so glad you're here. We have information that we would like to offer you. When you head out those doors and make a left, there's a table out there with packets, newcomer packets with information about who we are and what we do. And I hope that you'll avail yourself of that. It'll help. You'll know who we are, and it's a lot of fun. We've got all sorts of stuff going on. I want to say that we make it really easy for you to give your gifts and offer your donations and your tithes. Please just take a look at your bulletin. You'll see there's a text to tithe number inside, and on the back there's a QR code. Just scan that and follow the prompts, and we are grateful for all that you give. I do want to say, by the way, thank you for observing that in our 9:45 service we are still masking, and in our 11:30 service we are mask optional. So we invite you to partake of that, and Wednesday night services now are also mask optional. Prayer with a Practitioner is available after the service and on Zoom. So if you're on Facebook or YouTube Live, hop over to Zoom and you can get prayer. So by the way, our Journey of the Heart pledge cards are available online, and we have them in your bulletin. What I know is the card of intent is really important. When I make a plan, I know that everything necessary to support that plan begins to surround me and fill me. When I have an intention, particularly when it is about my tithing, my finances, everything gathers to support that. So I invite you to explore the power of the clear intention of tithing and giving. We appreciate that. Wednesday night healing service. This week, Liz Racy is speaking on the topic, I am more than this, I am more. She's wonderful. Our tween and teen junior church is back. Sundays in the Ernest Holmes room, 9:45 service only. Our grief support group is meeting today on Zoom at 1 p.m. By the way, all of our links for all of this stuff can be found at our website, and you'll notice We also, in your bulletin, our purple page has returned. There you go. You can also, if you go to our website, you'll see purple page. Tap on that and you'll get all this stuff. But this is the announcements in depth because you don't want me to go any deeper than I'm going right now. Some people go to Al-Anon. I just go to on and on. All right, so on October 2nd, we are having our Blessing of the Animals service from 2 o'clock to 3:30 p.m. on the lawn out there. Please bring your beloved pets, well restrained, captive in a container on a leash, or just bring a picture. And bring a picture of those departed pets if you like. We will have an altar and we will pay respect and honor and love to them as well. Our Elder Wisdom group. This is a brand new group that we're starting. October 5th is our first meeting, and that's a Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. in a junior church. It's brand new and facilitated by Reverend Tricia Klink and Deanna Bagley. This is important. You who are sagers, we need your wisdom, so I hope that you'll participate in that. And you self-identify as an elder, by the way. Art show and sale. Okay, this is cool. On Saturday, October 8th, Sunday, October 9th, our wonderful and talented congregant, Fern Saltzman, is going to be selling her artwork on the patio, and everyone is invited. The sales, all the profits for this are going to the church and to fight human and sex trafficking of young children. So consider doing that. Please attend. We would love for you to be a part of this. Zoom virtual patio before and after our Sunday and Wednesday services. Again, those links are all on the website. Zoom meditation every morning from Monday through Saturday, 7:55 to 8:15 p.m. Go to our website to get all the other information. You can get our Zoom links. You can sign up for our e-blasts, our weekly and our monthly newsletters. It's your turn.
Let's stand and we'll sing.
You want to bring the practitioners?
So we have practitioners, as Reverend Sidney said, who are here to pray with you after service. So if you have a practitioner, come on forward. We want you to get a look at them. They're going to face you. Anybody here who's a practitioner? Oh, Patricia's here. Luana's here. Oh my God, we have lots of practitioners here. This is wonderful. So I want you to see who they are. They're available to pray with you following the service. So if you want prayer, just come up and one of them will sit with you, speak the word, and you will leave feeling infinitely better. All right, let's stand and we'll sing. So please repeat after me. I'm at home in the heart of God.
I'm at home in the heart of God.
My life is anchored in truth.
My life is anchored in truth.
I can never be separate.
I can never be separate.
I live in the consciousness of peace.
I live in the consciousness of peace.
I release all fear.
I release all fear.
I am living love.
I am living love.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.